Good evening. I'm back. We had ourselves a nice Saturday. Kids just went to bed. Got some iced coffee here. And I'm settling in to solve some problems. Before I do that, though, I actually need to... I was working on one of a subscriber sent me some code. And I was actually working on it earlier to add a feature to it. And I added the feature. But now I need to actually send him the code, so... need to go here, go to the bottom of the file, yank it. There we go. I just send it to him in the Discord. Oh, I guess I probably should put this like in a... Well, honestly, I could just send him this, can't I? I bet I can just send him the Python file. Let's see. Explorer dot. Hey Hunter, what's up, man? How are you doing? I saw your comment on my video. Thanks for leaving the comment, man. Let's see, I just need to drag that over here. Let's see. Here is the code I worked on stream earlier. Sounds weird. Okay, so that's done. But now we need to go back to what I originally was trying to do earlier, which was I was originally trying to take care of a GitHub issue that somebody logged. Hunter. Yep, good. Yep. How are you, Hunter? Are you doing all right? Got big plans for your Saturday evening? These are my big plans for my Saturday. I'd really like to get all the issues that this guy logged taken care of tonight. There was like 3 different things he logged. And then like 2 documentation things. Okay, we're gonna make, this is the one we're working on right now. So we're trying to make this case insensitive. Okay, so I actually think I found a solution for this that's actually really straightforward. And let me know if the music's too loud for you, let me know. It's hard for me to tell what's too loud. Hunter, I don't have any big plans either, man. I'm just gonna hang out here and do some code. That's my big plans for the evening. Let's see. So in the processor, basically I have this extension and I don't think I need it anymore. So the reason this extension exists is to basically allow me to do reflection. So the way this app works is it lets people do mappings between properties and IDs in 2 different systems. And so I grab values using reflection in C#, and I need to have the right property name. And so I had built this, or I had written this small little capitalized extension to basically convert whatever they had in their config file to the right name to get the property. But I don't think I need this because I actually learned that C# takes care of this. They have a built-in thing you can do here. So let's find all my references to this function. So I think if I type leader gr, this will show me all my references. Leader gr. Nope. Oh yeah, so this is showing me all my references. Okay, so it's here, Why is it here? Let's see. Prop get value. Get properties. Okay, I think what am I thinking? I honestly don't know what I'm thinking here. So I think what I can do is I think I can actually not do this anymore. Right? So don't worry about capitalizing it. Just get the values. Let's see. Just get the values, and then when we get the properties, instead of worrying about case, I think what I can do is I can make it case insensitive. Two whiskers. You're a virgin, fool. Two whiskers, you can fuck right off, two whiskers. That's what I think about you. Hunter says, "Huh?" I agree, Hunter. Like, what is, like, what's two whiskers' problem? Okay, so then I think right here when I get properties, this is what I learned about today. So I can actually declare binding flags, and so I can set this to say dot instance, and then I can say binding flags dot public, and I can set this to say binding flags. There should be another one here. Binding flags dot ignore case. Which means then I don't have to worry about, which actually, what does default do? Dot default? Oh, I don't want that. I think I just want ignore case. Yeah, ignore case. And I think I can do this basically anywhere I'm using reflection and I'm trying to get a property. I can just remove my usage of that capitalize function, and I can use this binding instead. Hunter, same, bro. I appreciate your support, Hunter. I don't know why there's so many lame dudes on YouTube, honestly. There's a lot of cool, I've met a lot of cool guys, a lot of cool people on YouTube, but there's definitely a lot of trolls on YouTube too. Let's see, so string extensions. Okay, now we write all this out, and we should be able to now again go to our references, go to the next one. Should be able to do the same thing here. So get rid of the capitalize, and then We can change this to that. Let's see, and then I'll just specify those same flags again here. So, yep, like that. Yes, that looks right. Go back to string extension. We're just going to keep repeating this till all the references are gone, basically. Let's see, get property. Yep. So this is why I was doing this. So instead of doing this, we can do an overload. So we can say kvp.value, and then we can pass in those same flags. I didn't know about these flags when I originally wrote this program. That's why I didn't do it this way. So you learn something every day, you know? Good stuffs. Actually, Azure user destructuring. Also, you guys see this? This file's named weird. I need to fix that. It has copy on the end of it. Cool dude. What type of coder are you, buddy? Cool dude, what do you mean, man? What do you mean by type of coder? You mean like what language do I use? Heart WYD. What did you eat today? Mainly Chick-fil-A. We got Chick-fil-A for lunch, and that's about the main meal I've had. Eugene, what am I building? I'm not actually building anything. I'm actually adding some enhancements to something. So I have this application on my GitHub. I actually built it as part of a Microsoft hackathon. Essentially what it does is it takes here I just draw it real quick. Basically it's a really simple app. All it does is it takes data from Azure, so this is users and groups from Azure, like Azure Active Directory, if you're familiar with that. It takes basically data from there, and it syncs that same data to another system over here. So this other system has users and groups, and so it just moves it from here to there. But it basically lets people do some configuration, so you can like map this property from Azure goes to this field over in this other system. And I originally just built it as part of a hackathon, but I guess some people have been using it, and a gentleman logged a couple issues on the repo of things he would like it to do or not do differently. So I'm just working on trying to implement those for him so that the app solves his use case. Cool dude. Yep. What language should I learn? Is there high demand of something? Heart WYD. God's chicken. Yes, God's chicken indeed, man. Cool dude. Yep. What language? So this language is C#. But I also know. So I know C#. I know JavaScript, TypeScript, which I think you kind of bucket those two together, JavaScript, TypeScript. And then I know CSS, HTML, your basic web technologies. And then I know Python. I don't write a ton of Python. It's not really a language I like to work in, so I don't do a ton with it, but I do know how to write it. I've written some projects with it, I have a package out there that I maintain that's Python based. But in terms of your question about what to learn, I think it largely depends on what you want to do. But if you're someone who's never coded before, like you've never written a line of code in your life, my recommendation would be to go to Free Code Camp and to start learning basic web development, because a part of learning web development is you're going to learn JavaScript. And I think JavaScript is a really great language to learn because it's super forgiving. It works everywhere. It's the language of the browser. You can use it on the server. And then once you've learned one language, like once you've learned something like JavaScript that has really high utility, it becomes vastly easier to learn whatever other language you want to learn. So that would be kind of my recommendation to start. And the website I mentioned is called, let me see if I can pull it up here. The website I mentioned there, cool dude, is called Free Code Camp. So this is the website. This is where I point everybody. They have curriculum. It's not just curriculum on web development. They have curriculum on other things. Like you can do some data analysis. But I think the key is to start learning one language. And I think JavaScript's a good one. Python's a good one. But then once you figure out if you like coding or you like programming, and you figure out what you want to kind of do with coding and programming, you can kind of then decide what's the next language I want to learn from there. Let's see. Cool dude says, I've learned syntax of Java, haven't made any projects though. Okay, so then you're already down the road, man. I would say then you need to start applying what you've learned with Java and start building stuff. Start trying to solve your own problems. iMachine Studios. You know any good C++ compilers? No VS Code. iMachine VS Code. I wouldn't say VS Code's a C++ compiler. That's just like VS Code's just a text editor. Like C++ compilers I'm thinking of are like, isn't Clang? Clang's a compiler for C++. I think there's one out there called GCC. Yeah, we probably just do a quick search, but C++ compiler is the thing that takes your C++ code and turns it into let's see, it would be compiled to machine code, I think, or is it assembly? What the compiler puts out? C++ compiler output is assembly, or yeah, just outputs assembly code. There you go. So that's the machine code that can be run on the target processor. So yeah, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure iMachine Studios exactly what you're looking for, but there are. If you just do a Google search for C++ compilers, I think you can find some. Sankey OK says Pythons are snakes. Pythons are snakes, but it's also a programming language. I cannot hack your computer. I am not a hacker. I am not a hacker, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay, where were we? We were making our way through all our references to this capitalize method. Okay. So we can remove this, and we can just specify those binding flags. String extensions. I wish there was a faster way to do this, but this is the best way I know how. So that's a unit test. Okay, this is actually in that validation logic. So Azure group property. Yeah, I shouldn't need... I think what I can do here is I can say string dot compare, no, string dot equals e dot name kvp dot value. Yeah, ignore case. And then the onSpring field. Yeah, I think that'll work. I'm gonna try not to get hung up on some of the formatting of this project, because when I wrote this, I don't know why, but I made some really interesting stylistic decisions about the way I formatted some of this stuff. I'm not sure why, but it is what it is. Okay, back to... let's see. Chill Guy, can I please get a shout out? Of course, Chill Guy. How you doing, Chill Guy? Good to see you. Thank you, man. And what I mean by compiler is the thing that runs the code. Oh, yeah. Yeah, then what you want is you want Clang or GCC, whatever. You want the thing that takes your C++ code and basically turns it into some machine code that you can run. So yeah, that's what you want. I just do a quick Google search. You can install it on Windows, Mac, Linux. They're out there. Let's see. Cool dude. My schoolmate says coding will be replaced by AI. What do you think? You already worked so much. Let's see. Before I answer that question, let me just make sure I don't miss anybody else's. CrowdDAO, Visual Studio, not VS Code, has its baked-in C++ compiler. It does. Visual Studio does indeed. I don't think it's actually baked into Visual Studio Code, but it's when you install Visual Studio, you have the option of installing like the C++ toolchain, which has the compiler included in it. Let's see. CrowdDAO. What will TourScript do? CrowdDAO, I'm not sure what TourScript is. CrowdDAO, what will your script do? Oh, so the thing I'm working on, just I was trying to explain it a little bit earlier. Let's see if I still have. Do I still have that drawing up? I must have blown it away. It basically just moves data from one place to the next. That's all. It basically allows people to keep their Azure Active Directory users and groups in sync with this other system. The other system is a piece of software that the company I work for makes. But I built this as it's not maintained or operate. You know, it's not a part of our company. It's just something I built on the side. And so if people want to use it, they can, and I just maintain it as a side project. Let's see, Bahatmet, the Gamer Pro. I like your username, the Gamer Pro. Are you actually a professional gamer, Bahatmet? Can you explain the stuff on your screen to newbies? Of course I can. So what is on my screen right now, Bahatmet, is just this is in C# what you call an extension method. So this method basically just defines a function that you can call on any, in this case, any string, and what it'll do is it'll just capitalize the word of the string. So that's what's particularly this file does. There's a lot of other files in this project, but I can most definitely explain anything that's on my screen if you'd like to know more. Omar, you do C# all the time. Not all the time, but lately I've been doing a lot of C#, especially on stream. And I like C#. I like working in C#. So if I have to build something that's going to run server side, I typically reach for C#. But I like TypeScript, you know. I'm not, like I said, I'm not a big guy. I'm not a big Python guy, but I like TypeScript. Let me see. I'm going to scroll up. I think I missed somebody's comment about AI. Cool Dude asked about AI. So, Cool Dude, you said your friend thinks that AI is going to basically make coding obsolete. I'm not going to say that's not going to happen, because I mean, AI, the generative AI, the foundation models are very impressive. So I don't think any of us can probably say with confidence that something is never going to happen. I think personally, that doesn't really matter to me a lot, because I enjoy doing this. So even if AI was to make coding obsolete, I enjoy just building stuff and writing code. So I would still do it. Even if there was an AI that could do it for me, I would still work on projects and build things and write code. I think in terms of like AI making developers or coders obsolete, I think that if that ever does happen, we're far away. We're a long way away from it, and here's why. No code tools like Squarespace, like Webflow. There's a lot of these tools, Bubble.io. There's a lot of these no-code platforms and tools that were supposed to basically make it so that you didn't need a developer ever to build anything. And there still are lots of developers and lots of software engineers today. And I think that hypothesis ignores the fact that not everybody wants to build things. Not everybody wants to work with things. And so I don't think, while AI can output code, you're still going to need developers to think about things from an architectural perspective, from an implementation perspective. Maybe developers and software engineers spend less and less time with hands on a keyboard. Maybe they spend more time orchestrating, in some future state, they spend more time orchestrating a bunch of, AI assistants to do kind of the implementation details, and they just serve as kind of supervisors that review and make sure things are done correctly. But I don't think learning to code or being able to code is going to be a skill that's not valuable. I don't think it's a waste of time to spend time learning how to do it. Especially if you just enjoy doing it, right? You just enjoy that type of activity. Let's see. Bahamut says, cool. CrowdOut says, what is the editor? The editor is NeoVim. So if you go back on my YouTube channel a little bit, I've got some videos about kind of my journey at the beginning of this year trying to switch from Visual Studio Code to NeoVim. And so I'm trying to make a really good faith effort to stick with it. And so far I've enjoyed it. There's obviously been some rough parts, like rough around the edges areas, but so far I like it. What project are you doing? Anyways, nice PowerShell code. Yes, so this isn't PowerShell, this is C#, but it is, I'm working in PowerShell. That's my shell of choice on the Windows machine. What else was I going to say there? I don't know. I lost my train of thought. AI will not make engineers obsolete, not in our lifetime. CrowdOut. Or CRA DAO. I don't know how you want me to say your username, but CrowdOut, I would agree with you. I just don't think, I don't think that's going to happen, at least in my time on Earth. Omar says, I think that's how you say your name, Omar. I know you have a little bit of an accent character above the O, so if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, I apologize. But so Spring, you said thanks, I do Spring. That's Java, right? The Spring framework that's like Java's framework for building web apps, right? I've never written any Java before, so I'm very ignorant on that topic. Cool, dude. Thanks, mate. I'm now doing Android application development using Java. That's awesome, dude. There seems to be okay, so what's weird is I love coffee. And obviously, I've always thought, man, why didn't I ever learn Java? Like, I love coffee. Seems like Java would be my programming language of choice. And I honestly can't tell you why. I just haven't. I learned C sharp, or I learned JavaScript, and then I started learning C sharp. And then by that point, I had C sharp. I had all the front end languages. So I was like, I'm good. And I've never revisited the Java world, and I probably should. I've heard what I've heard, and don't anybody throw stones at me. But the running joke, right, is that like C sharp is Microsoft's not rip off, but Microsoft's rift, right, on Java. So I'm assuming that if I know C sharp, I could go and pick up Java relatively quickly. And when I look at Java code, like I feel like I can kind of read it and figure my way through it. So I should probably take a stab at it sometime. Okay, I think this needs to be, yep. I know I'm gonna run my test and I'm gonna have broken everything, I bet, but I think this is gonna work. Okay, so this is where we're doing the validation. So this is where so we're building lists of properties, and we're building a list of user properties. And so in here, I don't want to call capitalize. I basically just want to do a insensitive match on this, a case insensitive match. And so what's the best way to do this? Does this have like an overload that I could pass? Let's see. Let me see. C sharp string string array contains case insensitive. Okay, yeah, so it does have an overload. Okay, cool. That makes it easy. Let's go back here. Oh crap, I forgot. What file was that in? Processor? Processor. Yeah, here we go. So we just need to pass in string comparer dot ordinal, ignore case, like that. Nice. Okay, so we can do that up here too. Okay, we're almost done here, or I think so. We'll have to run our test, but I think we're getting close. I think we're getting close. Get property. Okay, so this is another place where we want to get the property, but we want it to be, yeah, we want to pass those binding flags. So kvp.value, and then pass those. Omar says, I have started to code. No, Cool Dude says, I can easily understand your C# and I only know Java. Okay, that's good. Yeah, that's I mean, that's reassuring. Omer, I have started to code Java in my first year of CS, and then kept moving using Spring and stay like that. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I think like right, like it's like kind of where you make your entry point is probably where you're gonna kind of hang out, unless you need to go learn something to do something else. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I would like to learn. The language I most want to learn at the moment is Rust, and I just need to find more time to apply myself there. I'm trying to do too many things, I fear. I started to learn Rust at the beginning of the year, and then just kind of drifted off from it. There's actually a repo on my GitHub where I was working through the exercises in the Rust programming language book. So I'll do the same thing here. Nice. Okay, and I think that removed all our... Oops, not that. I think with that, the only reference we have to this is in this file and in our test file. So now what I'd like to do is I'd like to run my tests and see if I've broken anything. I'm guessing I have, but we'll see. Crowd out. I'd like to improve at C. Yes, I haven't written any C, so cool. They all pass. Okay, nice. Which is good because I actually added a test for the case and sensitivity, so that's good that it passed. And just for my own reassurance, let's go to processor. Tests has valid Azure properties. Has valid Azure. Yeah, right here. So this test right here is the test I added with all the funky, weird cases in the property names. So if I run this tr, see if that runs. What are you guys doing tonight? Anybody got big Saturday night plans? I mean, I guess for you guys, it's not all necessarily Saturday night, right? Some of you guys are ahead of me. You're not all in the States. Okay, that's awesome. That was much easier than I thought it was going to be. And now we should also just run a quick actual test with this. So I think I have a configuration file already on my desktop. Let me see. Oh, no, I don't. I deleted it. Okay, so I need to download it real quick. Let's see. So we're gonna go. I'm getting this off screen because it's in my Google Drive, and I don't want to dox myself. Let's see. Connect. This is in a folder called Connect Demo. Just need to download this. God dang, Google Drive takes a long. Okay, there it is. Okay, where did we put this? It's on my. Okay, so. Whoa. Okay. There's an API key in here, and I didn't want it. to be. I don't think it leaked, but let's see. Yeah. So we should be able to. So I guess I can show you what this does actually. Let me log into my other piece of software here. Okay, so basically what this does is I have this other system. Let's see, this other system where basically I have group data and I have a bunch of user data here. So let me delete these users. So we'll delete these guys. This will take a minute to delete. Let's see. Crowdow says, I'm sleeping tonight. Nice. Cool Dude says, is coding for life easy? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Cool Dude. John Nee. Hi, Steve. Do you use DaVinci Resolve? I just want to ask something. Yeah, John Nee, I do use DaVinci Resolve. For the longest time, I used Adobe Premiere Pro. And then I got tired of paying a subscription. And so I switched over to DaVinci Resolve. All right, and we'll also delete this group. All right, so now what I can do is if I run my script with the configuration file I just downloaded, so let's actually go to where do I want to go to? I want to go to OneDrive. I want to go to desktop. I want to go to desktop. I want to copy. I have this handy little utility function in my PowerShell profile called copy path. It comes in handy quite a bit. Copy path, and I'm just going to copy that config file path. And then we'll go back to this guy. And so now we can say .NET run -- project. And this is going to be that. And then we can pass in that config file. And so what this should do is it should run. And if everything works, we should see it's taking groups from Azure and sticking them in the other place, and taking users and sticking them in the other place. So now if I refresh this, we should have a bunch of users here. So there's that group I just deleted. And then here's all my users. So they're all back. Okay, so it still works. But what I really want to test is if I change the configuration file. Let's see. Why can't I get that to pop up? If I change the casing of the configuration file, so let's say I change this to display name. And let's say I go back over here. Go back over here and I delete all these guys again, except I don't want to delete my account. So we delete those guys again. And we delete this again. Okay, we should be able to rerun this again. And it should still work. If the code changes I made. Okay, yep, and then we refresh. We still have, yep, we're still getting our display name. Okay, cool. So, actually, let me test one more thing. I want to test, let's test the configuration that gentleman logged in my repo. So in my repository here, he actually gave an example of a configuration that doesn't work. So yeah, so let's try adding this to street address, and then this is the what do I want to say? The uninteresting part, right? Of 9. Yep, that should work. Okay, so we'll save that. And now we'll go back to my command line. We'll rerun my application again. This should run successfully. And it does. Cool. And it loaded that data. Okay, cool. Awesome. So I feel good about the change here. So let's go ahead and let's say git status. Actually, have you guys heard of a program called LazyGit? Anybody here heard of LazyGit? Let me show it to you. It's pretty cool. If you like terminal-based stuff, like if you like using NeoVim or you like terminal kind of GUI applications, LazyGit is a really cool one. It basically gives you kind of this really nice lazy Git view, right? So it's like all right in the terminal. I really enjoyed working with it. I originally got the person who I found this from. Their YouTube channel is called Typecraft. I don't know if you guys know who that is. Crowdow says GG. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Crowdow, I haven't. Yeah, it's pretty great. Typecraft has a video on it. If you guys should go and subscribe to his channel if you like that kind of content, like terminal-based NeoVim content. But he did a video on LazyGit. And that's how I found out about it. But yeah, I mean, if you're used to using Git in kind of a visual way, but you kind of want to have more of a terminal focused workflow. Yeah, Crowdow. Yeah, it's I really enjoyed it. Okay, so we just need to commit that. We need to stage this. And then we'll push C, which gives us this nice little window so we can say feature. Make Azure properties case insensitive. We'll commit that. And then we can tab over to this other window. We push Shift P and that will push our remote. Oh, I guess I need to pull. And I don't know how to do that here, so I'm gonna let's see. Git pull. Pulling is not possible because you have unmerged files. Fix them, then use. Oh, okay. So git status. Okay, mvim. Let's look at the processor. We have a conflict. Oh goodness. Nobody likes a conflict, do they? Actually, it may be easier to do this in LazyGit. Yep, there we go. That's fine. Yes. Okay, Shift P. That pushes it. And then let's just make sure that merge conflict didn't fuck anything up. Boston Sports Cards. Hi, sorry I'm late. Did you tell your brother? I said hi. What's up, Boston Sports Cards? What do you mean did I tell my brother? .NET test. But hey, good to have you here, Boston Sports Cards. Hope you're doing well, man. Forgot I can't run it like that. I need to say .NET test. .NET test this. Okay, they all pass. Okay, cool. So we should, okay, the last thing we need to do is we need to update our documentation. So this is always the fun bit, isn't it? We need to come down here and say, probably somewhere in where we talk about property mapping. Yeah, default mappings, users. The app will map the following properties: groups, users, custom mappings. This that are not included. In addition, I'll just add a note right here. Note property, or hold on, mapped property names are case insensitive. Alright, case insensitive. There was also, though, there's one other documentation thing I needed to fix, so let's just fix that now while we're here. Yeah, so there's another doc thing I needed to fix. It would be helpful to add an explicit note clarifying that the app will only manage the statuses of users in OnSpring. Okay, I can add that note. Okay, I'm going to add a note here that says, note Tax Better Man says, way to ignore my comment. Hey, sorry, Tax, I didn't mean to ignore it. Tax Better Man, hey, you just got back. How you been, bro? I wasn't trying to ignore you, man. How was your trip? You just got back from Disney, right? How was it, man? How you feeling? Good trip? Boston Sports Cards. I couldn't come to your stream either because I was a groomsman at a wedding. That's awesome, Boston Sports Cards. Did you have fun? Did you have a good time? Weddings are always a good time. Drone flying. What you doing? I am working on adding some enhancements and some documentation to an app that I built. Omer says, yes, I heard, but do not know nothing about it. Yeah, that's no worries, man. But yeah, if you like working in the terminal, Lazy Git, I would highly recommend it. It's a neat little tool. Okay, mapped. Yeah, map property names are case insensitive, and then I was going to add a note here that says, the app will only manage the status field for users in OnSpring that match with a user in Azure Active Directory. If a user's, yeah, that's good. Although I don't want the whole thing to be bolded. There we go. Oops. Okay, right, quit all. Git status. Okay, git commit m docs. Add note about user status management. Actually, hold on. Let's do git commit like this. Oh, we need to add that git add git commit. Just opened in VS Code. I guess that's still my default editor at the moment. For git, need to fix that. So we'll say docs update readme. And then we'll say added note about managing user statuses. Added note about case insensitive Azure properties. Like that. Cool. Should be able to push this up. And now let's go ahead and open a pull request. We'll call this feature make Azure properties case insensitive. And then this, I can say closes number what? Closes number 19. And it should close number 18. Closes number 18. Closes number 19. Okay, and that should kick off some checks, and now we just need to sit and make sure our checks pass. Let's see, Boston Sports Cars. I was also the ring bearer. Nice. Boston Sports Cards. How is... Or no, hold on, sorry. I missed a couple comments here. I'm sorry, guys. Yes, it was great. Besides getting rear-ended, everyone is okay, though. Dang, that really does suck. Did that happen at the beginning of your trip or towards the end of it? Tax Better Man? Boston Sports Cards, how's your weekend going? My weekend's going good, man. Yeah, no complaints. Whoa. Beefy and brainy. Save some ladies for the rest of us, Steven. Thanks, Norseman. I already have my lady, so you can have you can have the rest of them. I don't need any more. Boston Sports Cards, your code's looking good. Yeah, we're making progress this evening. The Norseman. I'm trying to learn Python for shits and giggles. Thoughts on PyCharm? I hear PyCharm's good. I've never used it before. All the Python coding I've ever done has been in VS Code and I guess NeoVim now. So it's all. I can't say anything. I have used a lot of JetBrains products. Like I've used JetBrains. I've used their WebStorm product. I've used Fleet. I've used Rider, which is their C# IDE, and every product I've used by JetBrains has been great. So I think I would guess you're gonna love PyCharm. Hunter, oof. What do you mean, Hunter? No threesome? No, Hunter, not at all, man. You guys are getting kind of wild in the chat. Boston Sports Card says, did you get a haircut or is it just me? Anyway, your hair looks good. Thanks, man. I haven't got a haircut recently, so I got a haircut like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now I guess it would be. But there for a while I did have super long hair. If you look back at my videos like from the beginning of January, you can see I have real long hair. That's kind of how way it goes. I only get a haircut like once every 3 or 4 months. I'm running out of coffee. This is a problem. Okay, the checks are all passing, so that's good. The next thing I would think I want to tackle before the night's out is I kind of want to tackle. So let's do this one next. I think this one's actually pretty easy. So as a user, I want the ability to use a field other than the OnSpring name field to map groups to Azure. Currently, the name field in OnSpring is hard-coded to be the object ID in Azure. Yeah. Okay. Okay, the alternate would be to allow. Excuse me. Would be returned as errors in the log file. Yeah, so this part will already happen automatically. So if a group fails to get created, I already capture a log. Okay, there we go. So let's go ahead and GHPR merge. Create a merge commit. We'll delete the branch locally. And that should kick off. That should publish a new version of my app, actually. Let's see. Make sure this completes, but this should publish a new version. The Norseman, hold on, Boston Sports Cards. By the way, congratulations on 300 subs. Yeah, man, that's pretty crazy, huh? Never in my wildest dreams would I think I would have a YouTube channel that had 300 subs on it. I mean, at the beginning of the year, my YouTube channel had like 500 videos on it, and I had 20 subscribers or something. And then my other channel, let's see, this channel, my very original YouTube channel was called Freeborn Training Systems. Freeborn Training Systems, which was all about like fitness and exercise. Oh wow, this video is super old. This is probably my very first video. But this channel only had 147 subscribers, and I had over 1,000 videos on it. So I would have never imagined I'd ever have 300 people sub to my channel. It's pretty wild. The Norseman, too wild hunter, you're scaring him. Anyway, I do like it. I over-organize. I find its UI nice. Do you have any specialty in regard to coding? No, I wouldn't say so. I mean, I think most of the projects I work on are web development related. Most of the apps I built have been web apps. But no, I wouldn't say I really have a specialty. Hunter, yeah, congrats. Boston Sports Cards, I'm only at 34 subs. The Norseman, so was I. Hunter, I'll sub. Thanks, Hunter, I appreciate it. Yeah, if you haven't already, I appreciate you subbing. Are you talking, Hunter, are you talking to Boston Sports Cards? I'm sorry. You might have already subbed to my channel. I mean, I don't think the number of subscribers is a big deal, right? I mean, it is what it is. Like, it doesn't, my mood or my happiness, right? My enjoyment doesn't rise or fall on the number of subscribers. But I appreciate people who show support through subscribing. It's pretty crazy. Okay, this is publishing. So yeah, so I think what I need to do with this is basically I just need to allow him to map it. Because right now I'm not allowing that. So if we go to the README, I specifically call out like the ID property is used as the name field in OnSwing because the name field is required and the ID property is guaranteed to be unique. The ID property to name field mapping cannot be changed or written. So I basically just need to change this. I can leave this as the default, but just allow them to override it is what I need to do, I think. Boston Sports Cards, what's the most views you've gotten on a video? Let's see, the most views. I think one of my shorts did 15,000 recently. Let's see. Up until that, like 600 views was the most. But I think one of the coding shorts I made. Let me see if I can find it. Studio. Let's see, analytics. Yeah, this is definitely the most. This short has the most views. 15,168 views, which is pretty crazy because like it only translated into 2 additional subscribers, right? So, I mean, it's great that a lot of people saw it, but like it didn't actually gain me any subscribers, which is kind of interesting because I think you would kind of like in your head, heuristically, you think, oh, the videos that get the most views deliver the most subscribers, and that really hasn't been the case for me. But yeah, 15,000. Boston sports cards. The most I've gotten is 1,000. Yeah, I mean, I think even if you've made one video and that video has reached one person, it's a win, right? I guess unless your goals are different than mine. I mean, my goals are just to make things because I like to make things. I don't get too hung up on the subs or the comments or the subscribers. The Norseman word. Are you into machine learning or deep learning? My manager is a CE major and has kind of been mentoring me while I learn about AI development. I am. I should say I'm not really into it yet, but I'm trying to get into it. Let me grab this. I'm going to grab this book real quick so I can show you. So this is kind of my first foray into that world. But I bought this book. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can get it into focus. It's called Building a Large Language Model, which basically walks you through kind of building your own transformer. So that's I'm starting to delve into that and learning about that. I think machine learning is very, very fascinating. I think deep learning is very fascinating. So we're doing a lot of stuff at work with generative AI, and so I've done quite a bit with working with the foundation models through the providers' APIs, but I want to understand more about how the models are actually built. So that's why I bought that book. So I'll probably do some of it on stream too, the Norsemen. So that'll be fun. I'm like on chapter 2 of the book, so I just started getting into it. All right, I think my workflow completed. Oh, it's still going. Publishing these binaries takes a long time. Excuse me. The Norseman word solid. I'm definitely gonna be popping here. Awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah, I know it's not probably like super fascinating right now to stream it because I'm kind of at the point of the book where it's kind of laying the foundation. But at some point, we're gonna get into actually building the transformer, and I think that'll be very interesting to stream. Boston Sports Card says, I've been working out and eating better since I first came on your stream. That's awesome, man. Way to go. I think it helps to have kind of a good group of people in your life, you know, that are all kind of interested in that stuff. Also, it's up to you, but you can call me Boston, so it's shorter than Boston Sports Card. That's so funny you say that because I have kind of gotten in the habit of just literally reading your full username. Yeah, I'll just start with Boston. Boston is much simpler. Okay, so let's go ahead and check out. Disable this guy. Get checkout. We'll call it Stephen Freeborn feature, and we'll say allow. Allow group name property mapping. We'll work on that next. Let's see, what time is it? It's 9:30. Okay, I'm probably gonna go for another 30-ish minutes. I don't know if I'll finish this feature, but I'll stream for another 30-ish minutes or so. Let's see. Okay, so I don't actually remember how I implemented this part of the app, but there's something I've done in the app where I basically prevent people from overriding things, and I don't remember where that lives at. Oh god. NeoVim's angry. I've angered NeoVim. Let's see. So in the settings... let's see. In the settings... These are the default group fields. Yeah, so here, this is where I'm doing the default. This maps the name key to the name field. Yeah, so that's ID. Which I think this is all okay. I'm okay with leaving the defaults as they are. But there's some place, I think it must be in the processor. Let's see. Has valid Azure properties, has required on-spring fields. If the on-spring field is already mapped to an Azure user property, skip it. Okay. Set default group mappings. If onSpring field.name is let's see, Rodolfo. Hey, Rodolfo, how are you, man? Thanks for stopping in. Hold on, sorry guys, I missed some of your comments. Gabriel Martins, what are you working on? What are you working at? Gabriel Martins, I'm gonna translate that to what are you working on? I'm currently working on adding some enhancements to an app, a console application. Boston Sports Cards, I have a question for you. When I go to a Celtics game, what I'm doing next month, should I do like a vlog or something in TD Garden? Sure, man. Go for it. Like, I bet people would love that. People who've never had an experience like that, they'd probably really enjoy that. Let's see, the Norseman. I got this business I'm working on, but I don't want to outsource back-end work, so I figured I'd learn it myself to save costs. Laugh my ass off. The whole reason I even got into AI dev in the first place. Nice, dude. I think that's great. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, obviously, anytime you DIY something, it's not going to be as efficient as if you hired somebody that already knows what they're doing. But if you're cool with that, I don't see any problem with it. Tayaria Ibi Kawaku. Sorry if I messed up your name, Tayari. But thanks for stopping in, man. First time I've seen you here, so thanks for stopping in and saying hi. If you wonder what's going on here, we're just kind of hanging out. It's just like what the thing in the top left of my camera says: code and coffee and chat. So I'm working on adding some enhancements to an app, and I'm drinking some coffee, and we're just chatting. Tayari, I'm Nigerian. Oh, okay, fair enough, man. I didn't want you to think I didn't care about saying your name properly, because I do care. Okay, so I think this is the piece of logic that says groups name field. It's so weird that you can that you can have written something and then not be able to really recall what the heck you were doing. Boston Sports Coach. Also, Tiari Steven is the best streamer. Oh, you're saying I'm the best streamer. That's nice of you, Boston Sports Cards. I appreciate that. Okay, so on-spring group mappings. So if group mappings contains key and key equals okay, if the property being mapped is the Azure Group ID property and the on-spring group name field is already mapped to an Azure Group property, override the existing mapping. I think this is the piece of logic I need to remove right here. Boston, do you have any pets? I do. I have a dachshund. His name's Opie. Boston Sports Cards, I have 2 dogs, a parakeet, and a tree frog. Wow. The tree frog's older than you? Holy crap, Boston. That's crazy. I didn't know tree frogs live so long. That's pretty wild. Okay, I think I can just comment this out, right? So let's just start with doing that. No, so that's let's see, leader. Is it leader GC? Yeah, leader GC. So if onSpring field name is not null and onSpring.field name is onSpring settings dot groups name field. I wonder what I use this for. I don't understand why I have that set there. Okay. So let me go see what this is used for. Groups name field. So this is, let me go to references. So it's used in the processor. So we set it in the processor, okay. and then we use it here. Var group name field. Oh, this is how we get our groups. This may be more involved than I originally thought it was going to be. Let's see. Boston Sports Carbs. But subscribing is really nice of you and other people. Yeah, of course. Yeah, man. Subscribing is a great way to show others support. Boston Sports Carbs. I think you'll have 800 to 1,000 subs by the end of the year. That would be nuts, man. I mean, I can't believe that I have 300. So, I mean, if I don't get another one in my life, I'll be fine. But, I mean, and if I lose all 300, I'll be fine, you know? But that would be pretty nuts to see my channel with 1,000 subs. The Norseman. If you do freelance work, I can definitely keep you in mind. Surely at some point I'll end up needing hands to establish a more rounded system. Just a thought. Of course, Norseman. Yeah, I'd be happy to do freelance work, man. So, yeah, if you ever want to talk about working on something together, let me know. I'll be happy to talk about it. Boston Sports Cards. Did you finish that feature that a person wanted for their game, like the ending screen part? Yeah, we did that in this morning's stream. I can show it to you, Boston Sports Cards. Because what I'm doing here is not particularly interesting, I'm sure. So let me switch over to that real quick. I got about 15 minutes left, so let's take a look at that real quick. We can come back to this, but actually, hold on. I need to add a note there. Where was that? That was in the OnSpring service. And it was in the get group method. Okay, so if the group field to do, how does allowing different Azure property affect this? And we need to find the references to this too. So this is used in 2 places here. Oh yeah, so see, we're hard coding this to sync the groups. So to do, if we allow other Azure properties to be mapped as the group name. Whoops, hold on. As the group name, we need to change this. And I think we need to do it in another place too. This is going to take a little bit of testing on my part too, because I think when I wrote this, I obviously had some assumptions. Sorry, hold on. Sorry, Boston. I'll get to it. You always have a sub in me. I appreciate that, Boston. The Norseman. All right, I got an early cardio day tomorrow. Have a good night, brother. See you, Norseman. You too. Have a good night, man. I appreciate that, Boston. That's very kind of you. Let's see. On-spring service here. Yeah, so we need to change this too. If properties to be mapped as the group name, we need to change this. Yeah, this might be actually the feature that I thought was going to be the smaller of the two to implement. Actually, this is going to be a larger change. Let's see. Yeah, this actually is going to be a larger change than the filtering, I think. So, yeah. Okay, so let's look at that game. Yeah? So, right, quit all. CD into game. Okay, let's take a look at it. So let me show you. Well, I guess you already saw the game originally. So Python. Oh, actually, hold on. Script activate Python main. So this is a game. It's not my game. Just for those of you that are here that weren't here last time. This is a game that a subscriber of mine sent me. His channel is youtube.com. Kajan, there it is right there. This is a subscriber of mine. And he sent me this game that I think he made it, and another of his friend is helping him test it or something like that. It's written in Python. It uses a library called Pygame. And it's a pretty fun game. So basically the objective of it is you have to jump around on these platforms, and you have to try to collect these ES cans, which I guess are a particular kind of energy drink. But you can only get the energy drink, they said, in Finland or the UK. But yeah, so basically just kind of try to get around the map and collect all the cans on each level, and then every time you complete the level, you go to another level, and there's more cans. And the blue thing is supposed to be a police officer, so you don't want to get caught by the police officer. If you get caught, if you run into the police officer, then you lose. And then let's see. Boston says, do you have to end stream at 11 or for your time zone 10? Yeah, I'm going to probably wrap up in about 10-ish minutes, about 10 o'clock. I don't have to end it, but I do want to go hang out with my wife for a bit, so I'm going to hop off here and go chill with her. Boston, I'm glad I could catch some of your stream. Oh, yeah, man, it's always good when you can stop in and say hi. I appreciate it. Rodolfo, I'm telling you what to do. I don't care, Rodolfo. I'm never going to do what you tell me to do. Let's see. So this was Boston. This was the feature he asked me to add, which was basically being able to say you made it to level 3 and your total score was 3. That's basically what he asked me to add in there. And the total score is the total number of cans you collected, and then the level is the highest level you made it to. And it actually was pretty straightforward. I've never worked with this library before that he used, so it was just kind of reading his code and just seeing how he had done the other stuff. But basically all I did, I mean, you may not care, but I'll just tell you, all I did was so this restart game function right here, all I did was extend it so it takes 2 parameters. It takes the current level that you ended on and the total score that you ended on, and then it displays that level text, and then it displays the total score, and I just print those onto the screen like he was doing with the other stuff. And he had done basically all the work, because let's see. In his main game loop, he's already keeping track of this stuff. So, like, he's already keeping track of what level they're on, and then he's already keeping track of how many cans they've collected. So then, all I had to do was add some parameters to that function, and then whenever he calls that restart game function, I just pass in those variables as parameters, and we were off to the races. So, oh, nice, yeah, it was fun. It's kind of fun to have people like. I mean, I think this might be more of a thing that I would like to do in the future. Is maybe if I can, if I ever get enough subscribers someday, where people are like, hey, will you look at my code or something, or hey, I built this project, will you contribute a feature? I feel like it might be nice to do that on stream. People might find that fun. So that was fun to do. Oh, and I need to deactivate my deactivate. There you go. Yeah, so I think I kind of have an idea of what I need to do to get this working the way he wants it to work. I don't think I need to do this though anymore, honestly. I think that can go away. Before I get off here, I'm just gonna try to wrap my head around what I kind of need to do real quick. So it's really used, so there in the processor it gets set, but in here is where we actually use it. Okay. So I think I still need to do that because I'm going to use the name because some. Let's see. Why is he telling you what to do? The backstory there, Boston, is Rodolfo will show up in my streams and he will be like, dance or do a pull up or something like that, and then I always say, I'm not gonna do it. You tell me to do. And so we just have this kind of running joke, I guess, at this point. Boston sports cards. What do you lift/do in your workout today if you did one? I have not worked out today, so no workout today. Because sometimes you do office day. And thanks for doing a stream twice a day. Yeah, I try. I mean, I would do longer streams, but it just doesn't make sense with kind of like the way my life is to do like really long, extended, 8-hour streams. So I just try to break it up into more manageable chunks where it makes sense. And I found that streaming while I work out is a good way to get it in. And then the office hour is just kind of like, hey, I'm at my desk anyways. And if I was in an office setting, I would have a bunch of coworkers around me that I would talk to. So I figure, hey, I'll just throw up the stream, and I can chat to people while I work. But I did not lift today. So today is kind of a rest day. So no working out today. Tomorrow will be. Tomorrow should be. What should tomorrow be? Tomorrow should be a pull day. So I should do some pull-ups tomorrow, probably some rows, some curls, that kind of stuff. That's what will be on the plan for tomorrow. All right. Well, it's 9:56 is close enough to 10 for me, so I'm gonna wrap this thing up and move on my merry way. But I'll be back tomorrow, probably, hopefully, if all goes as planned. Um, for anybody that was here, Boston, thanks for hanging out again. Appreciate you always showing support. Anybody else who stopped in and hung out, left a comment, appreciate you. Otherwise, I'll see you another stream or another video or another short. And until then, I hope you guys have a good rest of your Saturday. Have a better Sunday. And I'll see you next time.